Yo, what is going on, my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video, we're going to be talking about the comp cape rework. This time, talking about some updates based on player feedback. So, let's get right into it.
Jagex is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, with my last video regarding the topic, many of you had strong opinions, which is great. I love when you guys get involved in the discussion. Nothing wrong with disagreeing with an update or anything like that, whatever that may be, and that kind of talk is always welcome here on the channel. I just want to talk about some things that Jagex has released based on player feedback. Remember, this is an update that is going to come out. And I get a couple comments here and there saying that they should completely scrap this idea. They're not going to. They're going forward with it. So now's your opportunity before it comes out to actually shape it into an update you're willing to accept. They are hearing you and they are making changes. So to lighten the blow, get involved in the conversation as much as you can. Now that all being said, let's talk about what has been changed since the last video. So there's been a lot of concern with the Max Quest and Master Quest cape being removed, at least it was stated so in the design documents. So they've decided they're going to keep those appearances in-game with the following tweaks to the overall design. So the Max cape and the Skill Tier 1 cape are going to be separate. Max cape is going to stay as it currently is. The visuals will not change at all and you'll still be able to recolor it as you do now. The Skills Tier 1 cape requirements will have things outside of just having like 99 in all stats, which I assume it means it'll be of greater difficulty than the Max cape, but we'll see. And the Quest and Master Quest cape appearances are going to be staying in the game as well. They will either do one of two things: bring them into the new system, so they'll become the Lore Tier 1 and Lore Tier 3 capes, although they'll probably keep their current names, or they will make a new Lore Tier 1, 2, and 3 capes, and if you've unlocked the Tier 1, Tier 3 capes, you'll unlock the current visuals of the Quest and Master Quest cape as cosmetic overrides. So do let Jagex know if those are changes that you want. Which one of the Quest cape routes do you want them to take? Again, be a part of the conversation if you're iffy about this update as a whole, to help out make it be the best it can be. Also, moving on, they've recognized that the community has voiced their opinion about the stats being applied to any Tier 1 achievement, seeing as it was too different from and too lenient in comparison to how comp currently is. So what they're going to be doing, they're going to be tweaking the Tier 1 benefits. The passive effect will only exist on the combat Tier 1 cape, or be split between Tier 1 and Tier 2 depending on where certain bosses fall on the requirements list. That is yet to be decided. Just to be clear, I'm specifically talking about the stat benefits that I talked about in the previous video regarding this update, whereas if you earn Tier 1 in any of the categories that reward a cape, it would have gave you a passive stat buff added to any cape that you had on. The example I gave was like a plus 11 armor and plus 5 or so offensive stats to any cape you wore. So this would be added on top of things like your kiln cape. So again, to be clear, I'm talking about that stat buff. I'm not talking about the benefits from comp like your teleports, ability to collect arrows, those things. Just the stats. And they're also looking to add some form of benefits for the Skills Tier 1 and Lore Tier 1 capes. So strictly for the combat benefits, that's going to be only found on the Tier 1 combat cape, and that would be your traditional stats you find currently on comp, which kind of makes more sense. Previously in the design document, as long as you had one Tier 1 completed, didn't matter if it was combat, skills, or lore, you got comp stats. Moving it over to combat only does make more sense because that's where you're going to be benefiting from these stats. So again, let me know what you guys think about that change as well, and do be part of the conversation for that if you want to shape that differently than stated here in this post. That being said, the link to this post will be down in the description below if you want to go check it out, which also includes links to the forums, their Discord, and Reddit, all places where you can give your feedback on this update. That being said, I'm gonna wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Peace.